finally arrived. I'm here for the derby day, Rochdale versus Oldham. It's been portrayed as Flatcapeo. So I've chosen my flat cap for the day. Black Lives Matter. For the last 2 seasons, we've seen football politicised. Football always said that it would never be politicised, but the taking of the knee to Black Lives Matter is a political action. Black Lives Matter, you can go and have a look for yourself on their own website. They openly admit to being a Marxist movement. The leader of Black Lives Matter in America, she's on video saying that they are trained Marxists. And if you have a look at their manifesto on their website, it involves things like defunding the police and destroying British history. This movement started in America, and it's exploded worldwide since the death of George Floyd. But they have a hatred of British history. We've seen in this country them pulling down statues while police just watch. This group is it beggars belief why this group hasn't been prescribed as a terrorist organisation, in my opinion. So I'm totally against our footballers taking the knee, which is an act of weakness. It's a show of inferiority to some supreme being. You couldn't make it up, could you? So I'm here. Let's see what... I suppose we'll find what the general consensus is at kick-off when the players take the knee, whether it's greeted with boos or claps, or people applauding this knee-bending bullshit. So I'm here, and hopefully I'll get to speak with a few fans and see what their opinion is on football being politicised. Even if people support this vile group, the footballers always said that it will never be politicised, and in the Euros, in the European Championships this summer, we saw fans booing the bending of the knee. It showed the general consensus with the England fans was that they didn't support this knee bending bullshit. But the reaction we got from the England coach Gareth Southgate, who by the way is another left-wing lunatic, just like Gary Lineker, is on record of saying that he hated Brexit because it was racist. Well, he had a rant before we all saw his interview. It was basically a rant against the fans who was saying no to the knee bending. It was a rant. He supported it. He didn't care what the fans thought. And then when we saw the penalty shootout, with 2 very inexperienced players chosen to take a penalty kick, and these players have never taken a penalty kick. As far as I know, they've never taken a penalty kick for their club. So they're very inexperienced, very young, and he chose 2 players ahead of experienced players who have taken penalty kicks, like Jack Grealish and Jordan Henderson. He's taken penalties for England, and Jordan Henderson was removed in the last minute of extra time, if you remember, for one of these substitutes. And we all know how that ended. These players missed the penalty kick and England lost the final. So we've even seen Black Lives Matter in football having an effect on who gets chosen to take penalty kicks in the European Championships Cup final. So I'm here, Scotland Reform Club. Let's go and see who's inside and see what other people think of the knee bending in football, the political action of bending the knee to a Marxist movement.
Alright?
Yeah. How long have you supported Rochdale, sir?
Me? 32 years, Daniel.
All right. Have you got a score prediction for today, Chris?
Yeah, I'm going to go 4-1. Cashman probably score the first goal. And probably Beasley, Bagger Brace, and whoever else. So
4-1 to Rochdale, I presume.
To Rochdale, yeah.
How do you have any view on the taking of the knee before football matches?
I'm quite balanced with it, to be honest. I agree with it in a way, obviously, because obviously Black Lives Matter. Every life matters, basically. But I think it's gone for too long, if I'm going to be honest.
Hello, this is Big Dave, the Rochdale fan. Can we have how long have you supported Rochdale, Dave?
30 odd years.
Have you got a score prediction for today?
4-0 to Rochdale.
4-0. Confident?
Yes, very confident.
I spoke before kick-off with many fans who was against the bending of the knee and wanted it out of football. Many of whom agree it should never have been brought into football and football should never have been politicised. But when I asked if they'd come on camera and talk about that, they said no. And the reason why they all said no was that they were scared if their employers saw the video, they would lose their job. And that is actually an accurate possibility in today's world. And that isn't democracy, because if we lived in a democracy, you would have the freedom to talk against this politicising of our football game, to talk against Black Lives Matter and to talk against the bending of the knee. But people are worried about losing their jobs, and that suggests that we live in that is the fear. That is a fear that someone living under communism would have. If we lived in a democracy, people should never have that fear of losing their job to talk on camera against the bending of the knee. But let's move on and let's see what the reaction in the stadium was when the players took the knee. And there's some good footage in this video of a couple of Oldham fans having a scrap with each other. It was quite hilarious. We found it very comical in the Rochdale.
Boo! 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 Get up, you dickheads! No nil at half time. You wouldn't believe Oldham are bottom of the league after that display. It's either Oldham are playing really well while Rochdale are playing shockingly. So 0-0. Hopefully, the highlight of the half was 2 Oldham fans fighting against each other. It must be hard when you're bottom of the league. Oldham fans fighting against each other.
Coming down, big Dad's coming down. Fucking hell. Sorry it was bad now, Steve Robinson. We'll sit here on the wall. Come on, Stephen. Get all the stewards, organise the stewards stuff.
Hey, the ladies getting for them.
All the tops lady now. See you after all. I know he's your brother in your bison, but keep controlling.
Over there, over there, over there!
Right, some post-match thoughts. I mean, the first half, honestly, it was terrible from Rochdale and very good from Oldham in the first half. I was quite surprised. This didn't look like a team that was bottom of the league. Very well organised. They looked like them players was up for this derby. Rochdale players didn't in the first half. I did say to a couple of friends in the stands that he needs to make changes at half-time because Oldham was literally going through our central midfield, and I did say that he should make changes in midfield at half-time. The manager didn't do that. He made changes the minute after Oldham had scored, so he actually did make the changes in midfield the minute after Oldham had scored. So Robbie Stockdale, I'm quite happy to give you any advice at half time. Just send me an email and I'll help you out at half time. Second half, second half was better, but not much better, to be honest. Rochdale were flat. It was a really bad performance, one of the worst performances I've seen from a Rochdale side in the last few seasons, really. They didn't really start getting into the game until after Oldham had scored. By then, it was, too late. Saying that, Rochdale did hit for post, hit for woodwork. Rochdale hit for post and for crossbar on 2 occasions. There was 3 penalty shouts, and one of them looked very much like it should have been a penalty. So that brings us on to the referee's performance, I suppose. The referee was very inconsistent. He was letting everything go, literally everything. Everything went. He let everything go for Oldham, and there were some bizarre decisions giving free kicks against Rochdale. It really was very inconsistent from the referee and the linesman as well. I haven't looked at the highlights yet, but the goal that Oldham scored
I don't know if it's the really bad view you get in the sandy lane, and I don't normally go in the sandy lane for that reason, because when the action's at the other end of the pitch, it's a really bad view. But it looked clear as day to me. There was a foul in the lead up to the Oldham goal, literally before he shot. For him to get the ball to score on the edge of the area, there seemed to be a foul on the Rochdale player just before they scored. I haven't seen the match highlights, and Rochdale's manager didn't mention that, so that might be down to the quality of the view when you're in the sandy lane, when the action's at the other end of the pitch. I do normally go in the Pearl Street stand for that reason. It's a much better view when the action's at the other end of the pitch. For those who don't support Rochdale, it's basically the bigger stand behind the other goal. But still, I enjoyed it in the sandy lane today. And I wouldn't swap positions with Oldham, because even though they got the win, they're still bottom of the league. So it might just be one of them days, a bad day at the office, as they say for Rochdale. Rochdale looked flat, didn't look like he was up for it, and yeah, can't complain really, because they've been very good this season so far. So yeah, even though it was against the local rivals, I don't think we should be too harsh on them. And yes, onwards and upwards. Next Saturday, Bradford away, and hopefully it's 3 points for the Dale. Up the Dale, down the ale. Onwards and upwards.